Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is May 25th, 2021, and here we are. It is Tuesday. It is time for another NXT post show. How are you guys doing? And before we get any of this off, shout out to my friend, I don't know basketball. Thank you so much, man. Let me see if we can get some money. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are going to the moon. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Lots to talk about today. An exciting show for NXT as well. I thought it was great. Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor 2 was great. Lots of good stuff in that match as well. And that leads the question, what's next for Finn Balor? But we will get to that. Marcel says, hey, AOW, is Taiwan a country? According to John Cena, no. Wasn't okay. I thought all of that stuff was really funny. I swear this was just an episode of South Park. Was it not? Didn't they have maybe it was the pandemic episode, or maybe it was the first special that they had. I can't remember. That dealt with COVID. But I swear it was like all about media and all about famous people having to cater to China, having to give China every single thing that they want just because of their purchasing power. So when I saw that, when I heard about that, that was instantly what came to my mind, was like, lol's South Park. Basketball says John Cena just mad that no one can see him. Asher says I missed all of NXT except for Balor versus Kross. NXT was great tonight. It didn't feel like there were dull moments in this show tonight. It carried itself all the way through, which is very exciting, because sometimes for me, I feel like NXT dips down a lot in the middle. Usually they start off with like a really hot match, and then you're kind of just like, meh, flippy flopping all the way around. And then the end is really good as well. But show kept me connected this entire time this week. So I'm very happy for that. I love seeing good wrestling. It makes me appreciate it. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about the show. Let me shout out to everyone that is here as well. Ashton, thank you so much, man. Leroy in the building. Myro. Once again, shout out to I Don't Know Basketball for the super chat. My man's is going to the moon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maddie, how are you doing, my friend? Anthony is here as well. Says I missed this show and it was good. Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. Obi James, how are you doing? My friend Marcel is here as well. Ryan Hoodie, how are you doing? Pleasure to see you. Jose is here. Let's see. Bozeman, how are you doing? For those of you saying Finn goes to the main roster, just know he's already there. Thank you, man. You are correct. NXT is the meat and potatoes of WWE. The rest of that stuff is just crap. Just absolute crap at the moment. Basili says Prince Devitt to AEW, man, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. Like, if his contract would just magically up tomorrow and no one knew about it, man, that'd be crazy. Trevor says, good show tonight. Next week looks promising too. Yes, it does. It does. Basili says, sorry, I missed AOW Underground. Was having problems with my phone yesterday. No worries, my friend. No worries. We will be here for more of them. And we'll talk about that later. There won't be one this coming week because I will be in Florida. Leroy says, on a more serious note, rest in peace to Alexa Bliss's pig, Larry Steve. Yeah, man, it's very sad. Very sad that Alexa Bliss's pig passed away, that no vet was comfortable to take care of it or treat it for whatever it needed. So very, very sad to see that happen. And I think she even said that like the current pig vet that she had for it didn't even feel comfortable as well. And it's really sad, man. You get to that point where it's like, if you don't do anything about it, then like they're probably not going to make it. So at that point, it's just like, do whatever you can to like, you know, do what you can, please. Myra says, bro, I see why you don't watch Raw. They plan for the pay-per-view, not weekly like NXT. Yeah. It's not good, man. It's not good. Anyone that is saying that show was good is lying to you. One good match does not make a good show. It does not. Basketball says, I had to be here early because I wasn't going to miss the post show. Fuck school. I'm staying up and watching this post show. Thank you, man. School is also important, though. Post shows will always be here, my friend. Post shows will always be here afterwards. Maddie says, NXT is the main dish, the side dish, and the drink. Yes. Yes, sir, it is. Asher says, oh, yeah, the death of Larry Steve made my heart break. Yeah, I know, man. Anthony says, when do you think they're going to reveal the masked superstar and the stable with Zia League and Boa? Oh, are you talking about Tian Shaw? Tian Shaw? She's not wearing a mask, to my knowledge. I think she just has face paint on. Just has face paint. Okay, so let's get into this. We got a little bit of news to talk about today. I'm not going to touch on the Velveteen Dream stuff. I don't know. I don't think it's for me. So I'm gonna just skip right past that one. Skip right past that one. But his release, was expected. I'm surprised it didn't come at a sooner point. If I'm being honest, I thought that was gonna happen very quickly. And when it didn't, I thought that they were just gonna go full force and just push him and just kind of make people forget, because they did the same thing with Austin Theory, right? He had the same problems. He was involved in all of this stuff, and people were really mad to see Austin Theory on NXT or Raw, whatever the hell it was, but they just kept putting him on, and eventually it just faded away. So I kind of expected them to do that with Velveteen Dream, since they didn't release him very early on, but they did not. They did not. Hoodie says the main event was, wait for it,
such good shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it was. Anthony says NXT is the main dish and Raw and SmackDown are the crumbs. Maddie says you feed Raw and SmackDown to the dog. Yes. Yes, you do. Jose says that Franky Monet entrance, though. Yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. Okay. First thing is first, for news, Adnan Virk and WWE have mutually parted ways as of today. He will no longer be the lead commentator for Monday Night Raw, which is not surprising. Not surprising at all. I'm not sure. Oh, man, I'm not sure how much research Adnan Virk put in to watching WWE before he decided to take this job. Nothing against him or anything. I don't think that he had the voice to be in commentary. I don't think he had the knowledge to be in commentary. And I don't think that he brought the excitement to commentary either, which I don't know if that's just him personally. Some people are like that, where they just speak like that. And that's fine. There's nothing against that. I'm sure that he does fine doing baseball commentary or whatever it was before. That kind of suited for that. But for wrestling, man, we've talked about this a lot here, especially that commentary is a huge asset in wrestling when you're watching it. It's like that, that trifecta where you see something amazing happening. That's one, and it's amazing. But then number two, the crowd reacts. The crowd is going crazy. That's two. And then three, the commentary team, when they're excited as well. That trifecta of all those things, it tells you that this is important. It tells you this is crazy, and it brings you the excitement that you need. And I don't think Adnan Virk had that. I don't. So it's no surprise to me that they mutually parted ways. And when they say mutually parted ways, it kind of leads me to believe that Adnan Virk just wanted out. Like, I just think Adnan Virk was like, bro, this shit is not working for me. I don't know what I got myself into. I have dudes that are like high as hell riding around scooters, shooting birds out of his flip-flops. And then I have some evil witch thing with an Uncrustable around her that's like bleeding black and shooting fire at people. I'm just going to go back to baseball. Like, I get it. I don't blame him. I do think it's funny that he only did 7 shows. Adnan Virk was only there for 7 episodes of Monday Night Raw. That is it before he called it quits. WWE Emoji says Adnan Virk tried his best. Now bring back Tom Phillips, which is another thing to say as well. Like, so you have Tom Phillips and you get rid of him, someone who's been doing fine. And then you throw in Adnan Virk, someone who's never done this before. He obviously wasn't very knowledgeable about all the wrestling things, and that's fine. I feel like that stuff comes over time. Like, and I can tell you, even from doing these post shows, I've never been comfortable speaking in front of a lot of people. I've, even in speeches in school, like, it's never been something that I've wanted to do. And even this was very difficult for me in the beginning. It was very, very difficult to get around. So even like for my YouTube stream settings, like, I can see how many people are here. It tells me roughly how many viewers are here. So when I was first doing this and I'm looking at it, and there's 100 people here, there's 60 people here, there's 30 people here, there's 20 people here, that is 20, 60, 90, 100 people more than I'm comfortable talking in front of. So, and that's just this, and that's behind the scenes. So I can completely understand, or I guess I couldn't even begin to understand how much crazier it would be to be performing on a show where you have millions of people watching you, and they love these things. They're diehard for these things, and you're not knowledgeable on everything. You're not pronouncing teams correctly. You're not pronouncing moves correctly. Like, I get it. I get it. So it's got to be rough. Ashton says, I bet the WrestleMania post show was fun. I've gotten used to it. Now. I don't necessarily care, but it was a big hurdle in the beginning. It was very uncomfortable. Was very, very, very uncomfortable. And people have told me that as well. And one of the things that I plan on doing once we start doing the face cam is going back and rewatching. Someone said to go back and rewatch the Winter is Coming one, which is the first one that I ever did. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was doing. For these shows, I don't have some sort of script. I don't have notes. I don't have anything. I just push this start streaming button and I just go. There's nothing. I don't have anything. The only thing that I bring up is my Instagram, and I go off of the post that I had for the segments and for the matches. That is the only asset that I had. So that first time when I did that, it was extremely difficult. But anyways, be very interesting to see who they throw in here if they bring back Tom Phillips. Like I was actually trying to say before I got off on that little tangent, is that you throw away Tom Phillips, someone who's been doing very well, for someone who's inexperienced. It's kind of messed up. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Phillips doesn't deserve this. He should have just been there. Maybe if they want Adnan Virk there, they should have had him train in the background, or maybe do some 205 Live stuff before actually getting pushed over, or maybe even have him just be 4 people on the commentary table and just be like, he's in training, but don't necessarily tell them that. Just have him be there and do what it is that he needs to do. Marcel says Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Mauro would be the GOAT commentary team. That'd be crazy. I really like Excalibur on commentary for AEW. I think that he adds a lot to it because he's very knowledgeable on a lot of moves and a lot of the people that other people may not necessarily know, which I really like it about Excalibur. He adds that thing that Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross could never. Basketball says, I was on your first stream, missed all of it because I couldn't find your account. And when did I start my Instagram? Oh man, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think I can look it up. I think it will tell me. They have this, I was looking through the settings yesterday and they have like my account thing. Yeah, I started my account January 23rd of 2017. January 23rd of 2017. Bring back Joe on commentary. Joe was a huge asset to commentary. And it's always good when you have those people, like, the commentators are good. Yes. But when you have those people that have wrestled and they know the ins and outs of moves and they can kind of explain things, it's so good on commentary. It is so good. When you can describe to me why someone kicked out, saying like, hey, look, both of these guys are gassed. They just fell down on their midsection area. They didn't have any weight on their shoulders to keep them down. They didn't have any of that. And it's like, man, that's so good. I love it when you make things make sense, because it makes it changes like the bigger picture of everything, and it makes you realize other things that maybe you didn't necessarily know. Ashley says, I liked Aiden English on commentary when he was still there. I remember that happening, but I don't necessarily remember it that close. Jackson says, because you have over 10,000 posts, that's more than I brush my teeth in a year. You change your name. Yeah, I have like 12,000 posts at the moment, which is absolutely insane. Marcel says Adna and Vert got a job offer from a porn company, according to Wrestle Talk. What? Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Doing what? What can Adnan Verg offer to a porn company? He's gonna do voiceovers while, you know. Wait, what? I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Jesus. Joshua says MVP on commentary on main event was good. MVP would be really good on commentary as well on Raw if they could swing that, but I'm not necessarily sure that you could do that with MVP. But you know, Taz does it. Taz does it every now and then on AEW when Team Taz is out there. He joins commentary. So commentating the act, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe that for 1 second. There's no way. There's no way. But yeah, they're going to have to find someone. It's probably going to be Tom Phillips. And I think that's kind of messed up that you're throwing Tom Phillips around because he's pretty good at his job despite being Michael Cole Jr. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's better than someone that doesn't know the ins and outs and isn't excited because you need that. You need a joke. Oh, it's a joke. Okay. I was going to say there's no way. There's no way. Trevor says, what if Raw has Cole, Graves, and Saxton, and SmackDown can have Morrow and McAfee? Pretty sure Tom comes back, though. I don't think they'll take Cole off of SmackDown. And I like I don't really watch SmackDown anymore, so it's kind of hard to tell, but a lot of people like Pat McAfee, and it seems like him and Michael Cole work well together. Michael Cole works well with someone who's bullying him. So I think this fits. It'll be, I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do. I'm not sure if Morrow would want to come back to wrestling. I'm not sure if he'd want to go to WWE. If he was having issues on the NXT stage, they amplify that by like 4 or 5. And that's just American viewership for Raw and SmackDown. So I don't know if that's a possibility or not. But I miss Morrow so much. NXT doesn't feel the same without him. It really doesn't. What if it's me? Man, I would never do commentary for WWE. Never. I don't think I could do it, first of all. I'm not that knowledgeable on everyone's moves, where they came from, what they're doing. And I certainly could not talk, having someone scream in my ear all the time, trying to tell me what I can and can't do and what I need to say and what I can't say. I wouldn't be able to do it. But I will tell you one thing. If someone wants a heel commentator to sit at their booth and just mad disrespect their entire roster, give me a call. I would love to do it. I would love to bury your entire roster. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Ashley says, I hate to say it, but the commentary team needs Michael Cole because he's their #1 commentator. I hate Michael Cole, but I could see him doing double duty. Joshua says, I couldn't have Vince screaming at me through those headsets for 3 hours. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. It's so hard to speak as well. Like, I used to have a different setup, and I had closed-backed headphones, and I wanted to be able to hear my voice while I was talking, and there was the slightest little delay. And it gives you like a speech jam. When you're hearing your voice back, you can't, like, you get all like, blah, blah. You can't necessarily form a sentence. So I can only imagine that having someone speak to you and you're trying to talk, but at the same time, someone's trying to feed you information. Like, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. They have the King. I don't think people really liked King on commentary anymore. I'm not sure. I like King. I love, and this is probably because I came up in that different era, that Attitude Era, but JR and the King are my go-to commentary team. I don't feel like there's 2 better commentators in the world. To me, that is always prime right there. I love JR and the King on commentary. They were so good together. All of it was just really good. Marcel says Buck's Twitter bio, Taiwan is a country. I saw that. JBL, yes. I wouldn't mind JBL back on commentary. I thought he was pretty good on it. What about Booker T? I'm totally down for that as well. Booker T is great. And I think when you have someone like Booker T as well, who's out there to have fun, I feel like it changes the dynamic for everything as well. When you have your commentary team there and they're so fixated on telling you all of this and they're robots and they're just reading scripts, it's so boring. It's so boring. It's just like, welcome to Monday Night Raw. We are in New Jersey this week, and we have an exciting show planned for you tonight. The main event is Karrion Kross defending his NXT championship against Finn Balor. They met each other not too long ago when Finn Balor was the NXT champion and Karrion Kross beat him. So now they're fighting once again because Finn Balor wants a rematch, and it's going to go down tonight. It's going to be very exciting. It is going to be very good. I hope you stick around for that main event tonight. And it's like, bro, no, give me some excitement. Put some bass in your mouth, in your voice. What? Like, I don't know. Give me some excitement. Give me some fun. Play around with each other. Poke some fun. Like, just do something. And Booker T is great at that because that dude, you never have any clue what he's talking about. He's talking about shucky, ducky, quack, quacks, and he's doing all sorts of crazy shit. Jackson says pause. I meant voice. Okay, I meant voice. But there has to be that tone as well. Like, you can even, like, when I'm talking, I talk to you in a speaking voice. And then when something is exciting, we pick it up, right? Because we're excited. You need to have that dynamic. You need to have that different thing. And even on SmackDown, you just have Michael Cole, who just literally screams at you 24/7. Like, I miss that range, and I miss people having fun. No bread, no water, just meat. I talk slow. Fair enough. I'm not mad at that. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Yes. I don't feel like I talk slow, but I don't know. Oh God, it's boss times.
Confused right now. Oh my goodness.
This could be the worst event in wrestling history.
I confused right now.
There you go. Trevin says, please don't have Gold on commentary. I'm already in fear he might come back and win Money in the Bank. Oh man, I will be so thankful that I don't watch that show if that's what goes down. Whew. Jesus. Okay, so moving on from Adnan Virk, moving on from commentary, we have some massive layoffs today at WWE. I don't have a lot of names. Well, I don't have any names because I didn't write them down. But lots of departments were closed down. Apparently, WWE had two separate graphics departments, graphic design departments or whatever, one for .com, one for TV or something like that. So they ended up laying off a ton of people for them and merging them into one, which kind of makes sense to me. I understand having them as one, but I also understand keeping them as separate as well, because there's a lot of TV shows going on that need a lot of graphics. There's a lot of social media stuff that needs a lot of graphics, and just having different designs and different ideas and different people with different teams sounds like a good idea. But one of those teams or people have just been completely eliminated and they have been merged into one. And those people from .com, all of them are supposed to report to Kevin Dunn, from what I understand. So that should be interesting as well. Marcel says Nick Khan is going to own this company at some point. You might be right. Marcel also says Kevin Dunn has more control, which probably means more camera cuts. Oh God. Oh God. uh Anthony says, what if Ric Flair goes on commentary? Then you just get this, man, nonstop. Graphic design, you say? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure it was graphic design from them. But yeah, tons and tons and tons and tons of people. Someone that was there for 15 years as well. Let me make sure I have it. Let me get his name. His name, not this one. Adam Kirshner, which is a name I've heard a couple of times. I don't remember why or how or whatever, but he said on Twitter, as of today, I am no longer with WWE. I've had a tremendous career and had the honor to build the greatest team. From first ever .com intern to a leader, I've seen and done it all. I am truly looking forward to giving the same 110% and then some wherever I land. So lots of stuff going down. And it sucks. Like, I mean, I understand the business standpoint of it, but when you're making record profits, man, and you're kind of going to a skeleton crew, it's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Slava says, sorry I'm late, but T and Shaw is back. Yes. Yes, I'm so excited for that, and we will talk about that. JBOJ says, it kind of sucks we're getting new sets for Raw and SmackDown. Not gonna lie, I love the SmackDown Fox stage. The stages before the pandemic were short-lived. Yeah, and poor 2K22, man. Poor 2K22. Those games they always bring out new sets when these games start to get released. So who knows if they're even gonna have them on that. And I hope that WWE does not ignore the pandemic era, and I hope that they give us these an arena in the Thunderdome. They have to. They have to. Ash says, give me a call. Man, I don't know if it'd be worth it working at WWE. It used to be my goal back when I started. Because I did social media for a bunch of people and businesses, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna start this wrestling thing, and hopefully it'll get me to a point where maybe I can get noticed, or like, because at that point I was only covering WWE shows. It was only Raw and SmackDown. NXT wasn't even. I covered it every once in a while, but it wasn't very often. It wasn't very often. So I was like, cool, I can build this up. I'll work on this. And, if they ever have something going on, I can reach out. Maybe they'll notice me or something, and maybe we can link up and make something happen. And that will be dope as hell, right? But then, I was kind of reading about people that have worked there and about how cutthroat it is and about how everyone is at any given moment ready to stab you in the back, trying to take your ideas and trying to run everything. And it was like, man, this is not an environment that I would ever want to work in. Because I've gotten to a point where when I quit my job and I started my own business, I got to a point where, like, I don't care. So, like, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to yell at me. You're not going to do anything because I'm not going to take it because I don't care. So that environment for me it wouldn't work. Someone would say something like mad disrespectful or steal my shit or something, and I would just be like, all right, peace. I'm out. I don't have time for this shit. So Marcel says, you going to the AEW Dynamite show on Friday? If you are, you're going to watch 2 hours of Dark before Dynamite. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am going to the Friday Dynamite show. And if that's the case, that's cool. Because we don't really have anything planned for Friday. Don't have much planned. So I don't mind that. Should be a very exciting show as well. And then Sunday, Double or Nothing. Huge event. WW Emoji says, is there another job that you do other than YouTube? Yes. I have my own business. Social media. So I do social media for companies and fun stuff like that. Working on a big project right now. Ashley says, I want to try going for the creative team because 100% I can come up with better content than the crap they produce now. Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. But, like, the things that they demand from their creative team is crazy. Like, they want you to have worked on a show for, like, 5+ years, TV shows, and, like, have a past for writing things. And it's like, why? Have you seen AOW Underground? This show is already better than Monday Night Raw. The people in my chat, we're just sitting here having fun, chilling, playing a video game. and chat comes up with a better show than your creative team. Chat is able to create stories on the fly from a glitchy game better than your creative team can for a multi-billion-dollar company. Why does it matter if I have 5 years experience on a TV show? It's crazy. Should do a collab with the person running the WWE on Fox account. They're good, man. That account is very good. They're very entertaining. Trevor says, oh, heck nah, I can't be on the creative team. I'm not about to write 3 hours of gold just so Vince can come in late and rip it up. Yeah, man, that's one of those things, man, where I'd be like, all right, you know what? I'm out, bro. I didn't work so hard on this just for you to put AJ Styles versus fucking, what's this, Jackson Riker and have it end in 1 minute and have AJ lose. Like, come on. You design emojis for a living? That's awesome, man. That is awesome. That's great. I might need some emojis, so maybe we should talk sometime. Ashley says AOW Underground is my fantasy job. It's a lot of fun, man. Like, I love doing AOW Underground. It's so much better than watching Monday Night Raw. It's so much better. It's just fun to sit back and like not be so negative, because I never wanted to be that person that is just negative all the time. Like, I'm chill, I'm cool, I'm calm. I just want to hang out, have a good time, have some fun. So it's so much better. It's such a change of pace, and it makes everything more enjoyable on Mondays and Fridays. So Myra says, I can't wait till I lose those titles, get him back in the main event as a heel. Oh, to AJ loses those titles. Yeah. Jesus. Marcel says, so the move Dante took was a backbreaker. Dude, I need to bring that up on my computer and like download it so I can watch it in slow motion, because I don't understand how he I swear he glitches through him. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand it. Jackson says, I went up to some dude in Walmart and called him a fickle fuck and he called the police. What? What the hell? Someone called me a fickle fuck, I would just laugh. And I'm assuming if you were calling the police, they'd be like, okay. And? Unless maybe that police officer is Pete Dunne and he's like, he said what? He called you a fickle fuck. I'll be there in 5 minutes. What do I think about Ted DiBiase and LA Knight pairing? I hate it. And we'll talk about it. You know, we should probably get to the show, by the way, because it's been 40 minutes. All right, so let's get to NXT. I think that's everything that we really need to cover, right? Pretty sure that's all that happened. The inaugural, this has nothing to do with WWE, but the inaugural AEW Double or Nothing show happened 2 years ago today. 2 years ago today. Very exciting. I was there for that one. I'll be there on Sunday for the next one as well. Great things, man. Cody versus Dustin, incredible match. Chris Jericho, first AEW World Champion. Jon Moxley making his debut. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Sophie says, time to break some fingers. Probably Pete Dunne. Yes. You're banned from Walmart? Oh, God. Okay, so, yes, let's talk about tonight's show. So, tonight's episode of NXT kicked off with Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart taking on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I thought this was a pretty good match. I thought it was good. I think I may or may not have heard this, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they said the winner of this match will be the number one contenders for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So I was like, man. So we're either going to have Raquel hold double championships, or they're going to lose, which I feel like is just as bad, or we're going to have a rematch that we just had. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the match was good. I thought it was good. I was kind of shocked to see Ember and Shotzi retain, because you have your NXT Women's Champion on one of the teams. So this was the match that I posted on Instagram, and I said, hey, this match right here, this is very main roster-esque. everything about this match is very, very main roster. We're talking about singles women champions competing for tag team championships. We are talking about a champion taking an L. We are talking about the losing team beating up the winning team right afterwards. And we're talking about a rematch. So it was like literally if this match would have ended in a disqualification, man, this would have been like Monday Night Raw and just a ball. A straight up ball. Ashley says, I feel like they told Cody and Dustin Rose to go out there and just kill each other. Yeah. That's what it looked like. That's for sure. Myra says, I see Raquel and Dakota interfering in the championship match. Then it's going to be Ember versus Raquel at In Your House. That's the reason Dakota took the L. But, okay. So, I mean, this is probably a great debate that people will argue till the end of time. But for me, it's still a loss. Just because you didn't take the pin doesn't mean that you didn't lose. Sure, there's the argument. Yeah, there's the whole thing that you can say like, well, she didn't look weak, right? Yeah, I guess. I get it. Like, I get it. Trust me. But it's your world champion. This is your women's world champion we're talking about. And I hate to see it. I come from, like, my thought process is that champions are the best that you have to offer. They should not be taking L's. And if they are, they should happen not very often. They should only happen every so often. And they should be meaningful. They should be meaningful. AJ Styles was very protected for quite a while, for months, if I remember correctly. And now he's just losing to Jackson Ryker in 1 minute. And I don't care if we're talking about disqualifications. I don't care if we're talking about interference. It's all the same. It doesn't matter. The headline can be Jackson Ryker beats AJ Styles because Elias hits him with a steel chair and he was distracted and he got rolled up and he stole the victory. It doesn't matter. The only thing that you hear or you need to know is Jackson Ryker beat AJ Styles. That's it. That's all that matters to me. So when things like this happen, I don't know. It bothers me because I feel like champions, they're the best of the best. It's the best you have to offer. Raquel Gonzalez is the best woman on the NXT roster. She's holding that belt. That is what that means. So if she's going to take an L, it should be meaningful. It should be meaningful. Sure, you got yourself a good match, and I'm not complaining about the match at all because it was good, but you could have found another way to have Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart get another shot at the titles. And it's NXT. So we forgive a lot of things with NXT because they don't usually do this stuff. So if they're just like, hey, we want a rematch, cool, go for it. We don't care, right? They did the same thing with Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. It's fine. It's fine. And especially, for the main roster, I think the thing that I find most frustrating about all of that is they come out here and they say like, look, there is no rematch clause. Okay? It's gone. You don't get an automatic rematch if you lose your championship anymore. You have to earn it. You go to the back of the line. Cool. Okay. I'm with that. I understand this change. Let's go. But when you have someone lose their championship only to face that person the next night and have the person that lost defeat that person and then earn themselves the championship shot again, bro, we see what you're doing. Just cut out the bullshit and just give them the rematch. Because now, instead of just seeing this match twice, we've seen it 3 times or 4 times leading up to this other title defense. Just give them the rematch. We're not stupid. We've seen it happen. How many times have we seen Big Oof, Shayna Baszler versus Natalya and Tamina? It's like 6 times. Give them the rematches, man. Just do it. Just say, hey, you know what? Having this rematch clause actually makes a lot of sense, so we're just going to put it back in. And everything's fine. And this is, for example, Survivor Series make champ lose as well. Yeah. Survivor Series is pretty tough. Survivor Series is pretty tough because champions be losing all night, pretty much. But I think Survivor Series is still pretty cool, though, because you have brand supremacy, right? So you have the people from Raw battling the people from SmackDown and maybe even the people from NXT. We don't know how it's going to be this year. So I think it adds a cool layer to it. And I don't feel like it makes them look that bad, considering that they're going up against their like legit counterpart. So if you have Roman Reigns going up against Bobby Lashley is the best person on Monday Night Raw. That's what that strap means. That's what being WWE champion means. It means you are the best on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns being the Universal Champion, that means he is the best on SmackDown. No ifs, ands, buts about it. So you have these two guys that are going head to head. They're the best of the best. I don't think it makes Bobby Lashley look bad that Roman Reigns beats him. And I couldn't see that going any other way, to be honest. So I don't think it hurts. And that goes the same thing for title defenses and challengers as well. Like when you throw someone into the ring and you put someone, if you put someone, Cesaro, for example, in the ring with Roman Reigns for 20 minutes and Cesaro loses, that doesn't hurt him to me. That makes him better. That elevates Cesaro to me. That means that he can hang for 20 minutes with one of the best. I can appreciate that. Now, if you have Roman Reigns beat him in 3 minutes, now we're talking a little bit different, right? Because that's not good. So I don't know. There's just a lot that goes into it. And when you're pitting the best of the best against each other, I don't really think that's a big deal. Jackson says, I need help. I can't stop listening to Roman's new theme. Glad you like it. Myra says, question, can I get the real answer? What do you think they should do for the tag titles on Raw for teams? I don't know, man. I haven't been watching it for, I don't know, a month now, I think, or so. I watched WrestleMania Backlash. It was a great show. Thought it was really good. I don't know what they're doing with AJ Styles and Omos. It seems like they're probably going to challenge against Elias and Jackson Riker. But I don't know. I haven't been a fan of the whole, like, there's only two people or two. So in this instance, it's tag teams, right? So it's always like there's the champions and then there's the challengers. And then like no other tag teams exist. And they butt heads. Maybe they swap the titles. They butt heads again. And then when it's over, that team disappears. And then another team just magically shows up out of nowhere. And then they battle. And then maybe they swap the titles. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But when it's over, the people who aren't champions, they disappear. And now someone else shows up. So they're always just like swapping people out. There's no real tag division anywhere else. There's no real anything. You meant the women? Oh, the women, dude. I don't throw those things in the garbage and just walk away, man. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would throw those WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the trash so fast. And then I'd be hunting down R-Truth and I'd be like, bro, I'm throwing this 24/7 championship shit in the trash as well. And then we're setting this thing on fire. We're done here. we are done here. Ashley says, yesterday marked 8 weeks of me not watching Raw, and I've never felt more alive. It feels good, man. It feels really good. Anthony says it's been 4 weeks since you watched Raw. That's crazy. That's a long time. Oh, I guess that makes sense because I've had 4 episodes of AEW Underground too. But yeah, man, it's so good. It feels so good to not be watching that show. So good. Ashley says they're nice titles though, but they're treated like shit. Yeah, I mean, so I guess we're gonna go off on a little tangent here, but the Women's Tag Team Championships, I think, are a great idea. But the problem is that WWE started planting these little signs at their shows. And you can tell they're planted because they're all the same. And, you know, so they said, like, we want women's tag titles or something like that, right? And they had these for, like, I want to say 2 months or something. So every time we saw Raw or SmackDown or whatever, there was a shit ton of people that had these signs that said, we want women's tag team titles. And it was like, cool. Okay. We're on board for that. Then they had the Evolution pay-per-view. They didn't debut them, which was the perfect platform, in my opinion, to debut them. And then they waited. forever and ever and ever. And they got all these people hyped up on these women's tag team championships to not show them for a very long time. And then they brought them in, and then they were a huge disappointment from inception. They were a huge disappointment. From what I recall, the problem is that the Iconics had them, and they were supposed to feud with the Bella Twins, but Nikki Bella didn't end up getting cleared, so those plans got thrown out the window. And apparently, that caused a 6-month delay in anything happening with the women's tag team titles because they didn't do anything with them. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't make any sense, and they haven't been booked well at all. It's just been a huge downhill roller coaster. It's been so bad. Jackson says today is 2 years since I watched Raw. That's crazy. That is crazy. Who do you think, and what is your prediction for the stable Diamond Mine? I think it's just a bunch of new people from the Performance Center, from what I understand, like 6 or 7 of them. Anthony says, in the fact there is only one real women's tag team, aka the Riot Squad, and they've never really been anywhere near the championships. Like, what the hell? Myra says, I'm not gonna lie, Shayna and Nia were the best title holders. They were working all shows. I think that Sasha Banks and Bayley were the best. Well, I love the Iconics, so that was great. But Sasha Banks and Bayley did pretty well with them. Other than that, it hasn't been for me, and they've sacrificed all of their women's divisions, the SmackDown one and the Raw one, all for these titles to try to make them meaningful, and they just haven't. They haven't. But that's my opinion. Maybe someone else thinks differently. I don't know. Obi James says the only time the belts were relevant was when Sasha and Bayley had them. I can agree on that. Yep. Sasha Banks and Bayley carried the entire COVID era. I think Drew McIntyre did well. Also, I would shout out to Asuka for that as well. And I think Los did good as well. Zelina Vega, Andrade, and Angel Garza. They did very well for a while in those early shows. They really did. They were having 2 or 3 matches a night. They were having 2 out of 3 falls matches. Like, they were workhorses back then. We had Mandy and Dana. We also had Fire and Desire and the Kabuki Warriors. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, Kabuki Warriors. Yeah, I forgot about that. Anthony says back to the show. Yes, we should probably get back to the show. Mandy and Sonya are broken up. Man, I miss Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They're so good. They are so good. So good. Okay, so next up, we had a backstage segment here with Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. You guys know how much I love them as a tag team. I would be terrified. It seems like they're still working a promo here with the Grizzled Young Veterans. So maybe the Grizzled Young Veterans aren't people that are being called up, or maybe they're just going to wait till after this is over, perhaps. Anthony says, do you think they bring over Kaylee Ray and Gallus to NXT Prime for maybe a couple of months, then call them up and pair them with Drew McIntyre? Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't really know who they're going to call up. Call up sounds so bad too, but whatever. I'm not sure who they're going to call up from NXT or NXT UK. I feel like there are some people that it makes sense to call them up, like Johnny Gargano. But I don't know if that's something Johnny Gargano wants to do. And I'm not sure if these people have any say. I don't know what the case is. I don't know what an NXT contract looks like. I don't know if you're NXT talent and Vince wants you, I don't know if you can say no. I don't know how that works. Timothy Thatcher snarl scares you. Everything about Timothy Thatcher scares me. I would not want to mess with that dude at all. Roderick Strong, says Safa. Roderick Strong would be a very good one. And it would make sense considering whatever it was that we saw with him and William Regal, where he handed him papers. And I think Adam Cole would be a good one as well. We don't need to see Adam Cole return to NXT and beat up Kyle O'Reilly. It doesn't fit. It's done. I think that was a really good send-off. I think that you should keep Adam Cole off TV for as long as you possibly can. Give him a nice little vacation, and then throw him in on SmackDown. Don't put him out on Raw. Don't put Adam Cole on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if he can survive Monday Night Raw. I'd be surprised if anyone can really survive from Monday Night Raw. Ugh, That's a tough one. Gargano has said he doesn't want to be brought up. Yeah, I mean, but you can say whatever you want, but I don't know if he can actually have the power to do that, because the last time I heard that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they said, no, we don't want to be called up. Ciampa said he'd retire. He would retire before he got called up. But don't forget that when they did all of that call-up stuff with Ricochet and Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, they were two people that got caught up. And it was when they were doing that whole stupid, these NXT call-ups, they're going to do tryouts on Raw and tryouts on SmackDown. They're going to try to find where their home is or whatever it was. And I think Ciampa got hurt, I think is what it was. And then him and Gargano just kind of faded away. But technically, they've already been called up in a sense. But I just don't know if they have the power to actually be like, no, I don't want to. Anthony says, do you think Tommaso and Timmy get a name like every other team in the division, or you think they just stay with their names? Probably just with their names. I don't think that every single team needs to have a tag team name, especially when they're just thrown together. I don't mind them just having their individual names. Ashton says, if Vince wants you on the main roster, why would he bury you right off the bat? Why wouldn't you send them back down where they can be used instead of releasing them? Probably because they don't think that they're being buried. That would be my response to that. He probably doesn't feel that way. He probably thinks, like, you can make an argument with this whole Damian Priest thing, if this is probably the best example. Damian Priest, big in NXT, makes his Monday Night Raw debut, and they pair him up with Bad Bunny, which is great exposure, right? To be paired with Bad Bunny, be involved in the show. Like, I think it was great for him, but it lasted for too long. It lasted for way too long. It didn't translate very well. It didn't go over very well because we got some sort of Bad Bunny and Damian Priest thing involved with The Miz and John Morrison for months. For months. And then when we had that big WrestleMania payoff, that should have been it. That's where everything should have stopped. And it would have been fine at that point. Bad Bunny gets to live his dreams. He gets that huge WrestleMania moment. Damian Priest comes in hot, paired with Bad Bunny, who's got eyes on this thing. They get a huge win over The Miz and John Morrison. And then you shoot Damian Priest off into superstardom. Right? Wrong. Next, you have Damian Priest just continue to feud with The Miz and John Morrison. You have Damian Priest lose to The Miz, who has his pants around his ankles, ass out, on national TV. Then you proceed to put him, Damian Priest, in a lumberjack match against The Miz, surrounded by zombies. Come on. I saw an article. I can't remember who it was from. It was someone very big. It was like Business Insider or Forbes or some shit like that. And they were saying that WWE is desperate and this is the worst thing that they've ever seen from the company in their existence. So sure, maybe they got a huge payday from whatever studio is making that Zack Snyder Army of the Dead movie. Sure, but like, man, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. Jackson again with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Let me give you some money here. Let me give you some woos in the chat for Jackson. And then one more. To the moon. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Ashley says, if you're not on TV, for example, or for months, like Buddy Murphy, for example, you're buried. Why wouldn't you use Buddy Murphy? You put him next to Seth Rollins. And you don't find anything meaningful from that? Like, oh my God. It's so frustrating to see that. Like, I was so happy when they paired Buddy Murphy, I'm not going to call him Murphy, with Seth Rollins. And it was like, this is excellent. He's going to be his disciple. They're going to do whatever it is that they're going to do for the greater good. They're going to beat up the Mysterios. And then eventually, they're going to turn on each other. And I hope that Buddy Murphy gets the win. And I hope that this propels Buddy Murphy up because the guy is ungodly talented. He's so good at what he does. And he even has the look. He's a big ass buff dude. Sure, he's on the shorter side, but it is what it is. And then it ended and everyone was just off TV. I was like, man, damn, this is brutal. Jose says, I could see the call-ups happening when the live crowds come back. Yes, for sure. I think that those two shows, that Raw and SmackDown for that week, they're going to go above and beyond. They're going to go crazy for fans in the building. Maybe not necessarily in terms of storytelling or booking or anything, but I would expect some big names to come back. It's already rumored that John Cena will return. It's rumored that Edge will return for that day as well. Call-ups probably. They're going to go all out. They're going to go all out. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully they're able to take advantage of that and maybe hopefully it's a reset. Hopefully it's finally a reset as well. Anthony says, for example, Keith Lee being in a feud with Randy, then the WWE Championship messed him up. Yeah, Keith Lee wasn't booked very well either. Keith Lee is also a great example just because he is fat and they take away half of his arsenal. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that, dude. Like, I always say that wrestlers come in various shapes and sizes. I don't think that everyone needs to be 6'5" and shredded. How boring would that be? You need your people who are shorter and just very athletic. You need those people who are big and muscular. You need those people who are just huge, tall. You need those guys who are maybe has just a normal type body. And then, you know, like throw in all of these people and you have such a diverse crowd of people can connect to them. It gives people different characters that they can relate to and all sorts of things. If you just had a roster full of 60 Brock Lesnars, I don't know if I want to watch that show. Every match is going to be the same style. All these guys are going to look almost exactly the same. It's just generic buff dude wearing tights or panties. Like, you know? Jackson says that's all the money I can give. Hey, man, no worries. Thank you. And anything is above and beyond. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. Myra says, I really hope the Usos take those SmackDown tag titles at Hell in a Cell. I can't see those titles. Don't get buried. I like Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio as the tag champions. That's cool. I have a question, AEW. I have a favorite for champions that are more taller and bigger that could put hard-hitting matches on. I don't know why they just look better as champs and heels. I think that there's like I said, I think that there's various different sizes. I don't see problems with any of them. If everyone was just Brock Lesnar and everyone wrestled that style, it'd get boring after a while. I feel like if everyone was 5 feet tall and 100 pounds and they were just extremely fast, maybe that's not interesting as well. Like, you need that diversity to connect to people, those different styles, people doing different things. It makes the shows interesting to me. I don't want to watch the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I just don't. Ashton says they put him in a goddamn skirt and changed his theme song to generic theme 1. Yeah, and I argue this all the time. I will argue this till the day that I die. When I take my last breath, it's going to be presentation matters a lot. Presentation matters a lot. And when we're talking in terms of wrestling, and we're talking in terms of casuals watching Monday Night Raw, casuals watching SmackDown, casuals watching NXT, and I'll use NXT for an example because I hate the name LA Knight. It is one of the worst names I have ever heard for a wrestler. I hate it. It's terrible. I hate his theme song. I don't feel like it fits him. To me, it sounds like a throwaway Matt Riddle theme song. Every time I hear it, that's what I think. And even tonight, when he was on NXT, that music hit, I had absolutely no clue it was coming out. So presentation is everything. If I don't know that this guy is Eli Drake, and I don't know his history in previous wrestling companies, I've tuned out. LA Knight? No, bro. I'm gone. I'm turning it off. Turning it off. So you can't just be like, oh, well, this is Eli Drake, and the guy can talk, he can have a 10-star promo with a fucking broom. That's cool. But not everyone knows that. Not everyone knows that Eli Drake is talented. Not everyone knows who Eli Drake is. And I've seen the people talk about like it's LA Knight because he does the Eli Drake thing. And I get that. But if you don't know who LA Knight is, you're not going to know that. And hell, maybe if you even do know who LA Knight is or Eli Drake, you're still not going to maybe know that. So like presentation is everything to me. And I feel like when someone comes out just looking goofy as hell, sounding goofy as hell, with a goofy ass name, you've lost me. You've lost me. So I don't know. But I mean, I guess since we're here, we'll just talk about it. And then we'll skip this when we get to it. Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase had $1 million face-off, whatever that is supposed to be. So they're in the middle of the ring. Cameron Grimes is saying, and I love this, by the way, Cameron Grimes wearing a blazer with some suit bottoms in some cowboy boots, no shirt, and his hat. I love it, man. I love it. I love it so much. So Ted DiBiase comes out, and Cameron Grimes is just saying, why? Why? Why is it I haven't been this way my whole life? I just earned some money. And I can go out and make these people do this. I can kick their basketball around. And guess what? No one cares because I'm rich. So Ted DiBiase says, look, maybe I'm hard on you because I see myself in you. And I'm essentially looking for a protege. It's kind of what I got. Like someone to manage, someone to, do business with. So I'm like, cool. This is going to be amazing. DiBiase and Cameron Grimes are going to work together. DiBiase is going to manage him. The $1 million manager. Cool. Maybe we're going to get the $1 million championship back. Give it to Cameron Grimes. I love it. And then LA Knight comes out. Okay. And I'm like, God, okay. I'm like, you know what? All right. I know that Eli Drake can wrestle. So cool. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with this. Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, pay-per-view probably. They're going to wrestle. Cool. I'm all for it. And then Knight attacks Cameron Grimes, and Ted DiBiase is with him. He's with him. They paired up LA Knight with Ted DiBiase. Man, my excitement couldn't have left any faster. Any faster at that point. I'm like, man, they took my favorite thing on NXT and literally stuck it with my least favorite thing on NXT. An exhale of doom. An exhale of sadness. Why? Why did you do this to us, Papa H? Why? Don't understand. Sean says same thing with Big E. He's not in New Day anymore, and he still has that power, positivity, bullcrap, and stuff, and needs to change it up with his gear and his personality. I actually love Big E the way that he is. I never felt like Big E needed to change and get away from the New Day. I still don't like that they split them up. In that sense, I think Big E is fine. But that's just me. That's just me. Who wouldn't want to pair up with a bootleg Batman? LA Knight is the King Corbin of NXT. Oh, God. That's a fantastic comparison. Yeah. Jonathan says Finn Balor should head to New Japan. He's just going to be another mid-card in the main roster. Imagine all the banger matches he can have. I don't think anyone should go to New Japan at the moment. They seem to be having a lot of issues. Seems like they're having a very, very, very bad breakout of COVID over there. Lots of people getting sick. Lots of stuff going on over there. I don't pay too much attention, but I've seen it on my Twitter timeline that things are going down over there. So I don't know. Obi James says I could have met Ted DiBiase. He was doing a signing at a convention in my area and it got canceled due to COVID. Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. WWE Emoji says Ted DiBiase, you're gonna pay. Yes, sir. Trevor says Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. Winner gets $1 million championship and Ted DiBiase as their manager. I'm totally cool with that as long as it would go to Cameron Grimes because that just makes sense to me. All right, so we'll rewind here for a little bit. We'll go up to the next match after our opening match, and that was Pete Dunne taking on Bobby Fish. I loved this match. This match was great. Pete Dunne is excellent. Very happy to see Bobby Fish return to the ring, even as a singles competitor as well. It's just, it feels so weird watching Undisputed Era not be Undisputed Era. It's so weird. It's so weird, but happy to see Bobby Fish back. I think both of these guys are extremely talented, so it was nice to see them in this position. And a big win for Pete Dunne. Big win for Pete Dunne. And I think we probably all know where this is going. They made the triple threat match for next week. Pete Dunne is included in it. I would bet money that Pete Dunne is going to be your next challenger for Karrion Kross. That's my guess. He got a pretty dominant win. And then after the win, Oney Lorcan started attacking Bobby Fish. And he had this weird maneuver on him. Or he was doing this weird thing where he had Bobby Fish laying on the apron area. And then his arm was hanging over it. Oney was standing on his chest with his left leg and had his right leg on his wrist. And he was trying to like maybe separate a shoulder, separate an arm at some point. It looked brutal. Pete Dunne was just there standing inside the ring with an evil smile on his face just watching. And I think a lot of people, including myself, thought that cool guy Kyle O'Reilly was going to come out and save him. But he didn't. Which I think is a good thing. Because to break up the Undisputed Era, only to have Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish run into each other and be like, hey, we're cool, but like, I'm doing my own thing. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do my own thing too. And then next week, the following week, which would be this week, have him come out and save him, which would probably lead to a tag team match. It would have been weird. It would have been really weird. So maybe their paths will cross again later down the line. That would be cool. It'd be a nice little tease, little throwback to the Undisputed Era. But I didn't mind that he didn't show up at this point. Like I said, great match. I think it's good that Pete Dunne is getting some shine. And I think without a doubt, he is the next challenger for Karrion Kross. And he's not going to beat him. He's not going to. And of course, he just got it back, by the way. But that's another story. Ashley says, what was Oney Lorcan doing? Everybody knows that you've got to fillet a fish, not pull it. Oh, God, if he just like pulled out some knife. Oh, God, that'd be a scary one. At least have them allies. I think it's best to keep them apart. I think that's what's best right now. Keep all the Undisputed Era guys away from each other as far as you possibly can. Put Adam Cole, give him his time off if he's done whatever. Put Adam Cole on SmackDown. That means Roderick Strong has to be on SmackDown too or on Raw. And I don't wish being on Monday Night Raw for anyone. So put both of them on SmackDown. Keep them away from each other though. Roderick Strong is very talented as well. Very talented. Next up, we saw another backstage segment with Hit Row. This was great. Everyone in my comments said that this line is from a J. Cole album. I can't remember what it was called. But I listened to the album once. I didn't hear this. But they said, put L's on their hats like Mario's brother. Obviously a reference to Luigi. But I really like Hit Row. I like them. They're great. I love these backstage segments. These are great. And I told you guys, I don't like rap things. Because I listen to hip-hop. Like, real hip-hop. I don't listen to things on the radio. I haven't listened to the radio since I was like 15 years old. So like I listen to actual hip-hop. So rap things I've never been a fan of rap things. But this is great. I like this a lot. And it's obvious that they're playing off of Death Row. It's very obvious, in my opinion. But it's good. It works. I think Swerve is the perfect person to put in this role and kind of help give these other guys some shine as well. I think it's great. And shout out to the Acclaimed as well. Because When I first saw them, I was like, bro, don't do this. Anything but this. Please get this off of my TV. This is not going to work. And it does. It's very good. It's very, very, very good. Ashton says, I listen to heavy metal. I mean, I mostly listen to hip hop, but I've had phases of my life where I've listened to other things as well. But I enjoy a lot of kind of music, but I predominantly listen to hip hop. What is the difference between hip hop and rap? I have no clue. If I had to guess, I think rap is the music genre, but hip hop is supposed to be like the term for the lifestyle. I think. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I always just say I listen to hip hop. I listen to like real rap. I don't listen to whatever it is on the radio that kids are mumbling about. I'm listening to like lyrics. That's my type of thing. But on the side, you know, I like speed metal as well. I like some death metal. Like I'm a big fan of the Black Dahlia Murder, Lamb of God. I like things like that. And of course, like Anthrax and Megadeth and Slayer and Metallica and all that stuff as well. And I also like hair metal as well, like Motley Crue and Rat. Like I like a lot of different kinds of music, but I typically on a day-to-day basis, I stick to hip hop. Today's music is shit. Yeah, like the mainstream music, yeah, but there's still some very good music being released, at least in my part. I haven't listened to newer metal in a very long time, so I don't know what's out there for that. Okay, next up we had a match with Mercedes Martinez taking on I can't remember the lady's name. Zeta, Ramir Zeta or something. I don't know. But anyways, this was just kind of a little teaser match here. Get Mercedes Martinez a win, but more importantly, we saw the return of the great
Tian Sha.
She has finally returned. She has finally graced our TVs once again. I'm so excited for it. Mercedes Martinez wins this match, and then bam, the lights go out, and then a red light appears. Fog starts coming up. Mercedes Martinez gets buried in the fog, and then that cool LED board that NXT has for their Thunderdome faces on the side, you see Tian Shaw's face show up. Face painted white with the red in it. And she blows out smoke or something out of her mouth. And then everything goes black once again. Oh, a symbol shows up first. Changes to a symbol. And it kind of looks like a pound sign, like a hashtag, but the left vertical line is missing. And then the lights go out. Mercedes Martinez music starts playing. The lights change back to the colors for her. And then she has that marking on her hand, which can only mean one thing. She's next. And it sucks that has to be a goal reference. But those are the best words that I could come up with. You're next. I'm very excited about it. And I don't know if this is going to be a Xia Li type thing. I'm not sure if she's going to come after Mercedes Martinez. Maybe what could happen is Xia Li could go for Mercedes Martinez. Xia Li can't do the job. And then Tian Sha, man, she's got to step up. She's got to step up to the plate. She's got to get out of her chair and beat Mercedes Martinez's ass. That'd be pretty dope. I am dying to see Tian Sha do something other than sit there and mess with people. Like, if she's going to wrestle, oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. This and the Cameron Grimes thing, easily my favorite things on NXT. Ashley says, Mercedes Martinez, you're next. Yes. Yes. It was great. I'm so excited. I've missed them. It's been at least a month, I would say, since we've seen them on NXT television. So kind of a long time. Kind of a long time. Next up, we saw Indy Hartwell looking for Dexter Lumis backstage. She ended up coming across a room, a black room that had a bunch of drawings in it of broken hearts, a black heart that is dripping down. I think a picture of a guy throwing a heart in a trash can. And then there is a picture as well, if you saw from the previous week, where Indy Hartwell is laying, getting the massage or whatever, and Dexter Lumis is standing above, and she said it has the word loser written on it, and then him being stabbed in the heart as well. And that was all over the room. All over the room. Trevin says rap is rhyme centric and has specific word delivery, and hip hop is more rhythm centric and deep meaning. Art and dance, I like both, but I prefer hip hop. Oh, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I like both then. I don't know if I necessarily have a preference, really. I think like I like a mixture of both, you know? So as of right now, Index is in shambles, kind of not. Dexter Lumis, his heart is broken still, but Indy is searching for him because she found out that Candice LeRae is the one that bought, I think it was Ember and Shotzi flowers. It wasn't actually Dexter. So, and who knows? Is the way fine? Is the way in shambles? I don't know. I don't know. Next up was the debut of Franky Monet. Another name that I hate. I get that she picked it. Whatever. Taya Valkyrie, you know that name. If you're into wrestling, you know the name Taya Valkyrie. And I get that they want to own it. Yada, 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 yada. Whatever. But presentation on point. Entrance, fantastic. Gear, fantastic as always. Music, fantastic. I loved every single thing about the presentation of Franky Monet. And this is exactly what I was talking about when we talk about someone like LA Knight. I'm invested in Franky Monet. I can get over the dumb name. The cool entrance. She's got the look. She's great. I loved it. I don't know if this was the correct way to debut her. She went up in a match against Cora Jade, and it was pretty much a squash match. Like, it was a little bit longer, and Cora Jade got off a little bit of offense, so it wasn't like a straight up squash match that you would see on maybe Raw or SmackDown, but it was more so an NXT AEW type version of a squash match where they're just kind of extended out just a slight bit. Let me see if Cage Match is here. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about Cage Match, it just makes me so sad that Showbuzz Daily is still down. It feels so weird. So weird. These ones don't have times on them yet. They don't have times. They're up, but no times, so I can't tell you. Trevin says Johnny lost the title. Candice is in trouble for lying. Indy broke Dexter's heart. Yeah, the way is fine. Well, maybe just Austin Theory is, right? Maybe Austin Theory just living in his own world right there. So after this match, nice little in-ring debut for Franky Monet. Next up, we saw a presentation of Imperium. Leroy says, where's Philip been? I'm not sure. We saw a little presentation here for Imperium about why they kicked out Alexander Wolf, and Walter was kind of giving them a speech, a little rundown via satellite. And I thought this was really cool. This is a really cool way to put Walter on your TV show and not have him actually there if he's not able to be there. I think this is great. He's giving them directions. He's telling them, I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Maybe I misunderstood. I was under the impression that he wanted them to go after MSK and get the tag team championships back. But I think someone else mentioned that he wants them to go after Breezango because they're the ones that took the tag team championships off of them. So they would go through Breezango and then maybe work their way up or maybe get a tag team championship opportunity after that. Either way, I loved it. Imperium is great. Walter is great. Fabian Eichner is great. Marcel Bartel, great. I love this. Love this segment. Next up, we saw a championship celebration from our new NXT North American champion. You'll love to see it, Bronson Reed, man. Bronson Reed. So excited for him. He looks like a champion. He's out here in his suit. Everything is going good. Everything is going great. And then Santos Escobar had to come out and try to ruin the day. How dare he? How dare he? But it is nice to see Santos move out of the Cruiserweight division and into the NXT North American Championship division. And the best thing about all of it, the thing that I loved, was that they kind of made it make sense. They made it make sense. He says, hey, that's the North American Championship. You know what's in North America? Mexico. And I was born a champion. I didn't have to go through those struggles that you had. I didn't have to wrestle for 14, 15, 17 years, whatever it was, to become a champion, because I was born a champion. I am the champion of Mexico. And with Mexico on that belt, that's mine. Obi James says no love for Canada. Yeah. No love whatsoever from Legado del Fantasma for Canada. So I'm totally cool with it. Totally cool with it. I think this is great to have Kushida have different challengers. I think this is great for Bronson Reed again. I mean, it kind of sucks because I don't see Santos Escobar beating Bronson Reed. He's just going to be one of those first title defenses, which is okay. I'm sure that he can recover from such a thing at some point, but it's going to be a great match, and I'm excited to see this change in the divisions, which is exactly what I was talking about when Johnny Gargano had it. It kind of felt like that old NXT North American Championship where it was just the same people over and over and over. Now we have a new champion. We have Bronson Reed, and it looks like our first NXT North American Championship match is going to be against Santos Escobar. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's that NXT TakeOver in your house. And I love it. And so after this, Legado del Fantasma stormed the ring to try to beat up Bronson Reed, but MSK came out as well and kind of evened the odds and chased them away. So we're probably going to get a 6-man tag team match next week with Bronson Reed teaming up with the NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK, to take on Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma. Should be a good one. All of the guys in that match are extremely talented. A 6-man match that I'm not mad at. Not mad at whatsoever. Next up, we saw our NXT General Manager, William Regal, and he said that next week we will have a triple threat match. Johnny Gargano will take on Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne. The winner of this match will go on to face the NXT champion at NXT TakeOver in your house. Even at this time, I thought it was pretty obvious that it was going to be Karrion Kross. And from what I said at the beginning of the show, it's got to be Pete Dunne. It has to be. Pete Dunne is being built up. Johnny Gargano doesn't fit. He just lost a championship match. He doesn't even really fit in this match, if I'm being honest. And Kyle O'Reilly just had a bunch of matches as well for the NXT Championship against Finn Balor. I don't think that Kyle O'Reilly needs to be in the spot either. So it should go to Pete Dunne. Unless they want to throw in Johnny Gargano or Kyle O'Reilly just to kind of feed them to Karrion Kross, I'm fine with that. Save Pete Dunne for later on down the road. Maybe continue to build him up as a threat. I'm fine with that. But from where it stands right now, I think it's going to be Pete. I think it's going to be Pete Dunne. Obi James says they did tease Gargano and Kross. They could, yeah. I mean, it would work. And I don't think anyone would be mad about Johnny Gargano losing a match to Karrion Kross. So if they want to feed him to him, sure, I'm sure it'll work, and I'm sure they'll put on a good match. Trevin says we're actually getting MSK versus Legado del Fantasma for the titles next week. Oh, really? Okay, then. I guess not. I guess not. Anthony says, why can't Johnny go for tag team gold? I feel like I feel like Johnny Gargano's time in NXT is done. I do. I said the same thing about Tommaso Ciampa. I felt like his time in NXT was done. And then they paired him with Timothy Thatcher. And I was wrong because that is amazing. But Johnny Gargano, man, I just feel like Johnny Gargano is done. What else can Johnny Gargano do in NXT? He's done it all. He's been everywhere. I don't know what's left for Johnny Gargano in NXT. And at some point, some of this stuff needs to change. In my opinion. I feel like things need to change. They can't always be the same. Sean says, Ashton, because when Kross beat Theory, he said he wants Johnny anytime. Okay, could see that happening. I only see Kyle winning because Johnny doesn't fit and Pete is with Bobby. Sure, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see. To me, I still feel like it's Pete Dunne, just because of the way they've built him up, and they'll probably have Kross go through whoever wins this. I don't know who the person is that will knock off Kross, but it'll be interesting. You know, I was kind of surprised as well. I thought that Finn Balor was going to retain, and I thought that Kross was going to lose and just go up to Raw or SmackDown. I think Kross with Scarlett, maybe Kross can survive on Monday Night Raw with Scarlett by his side. Maybe. With that entrance. Maybe. But they actually gave it back to Finn. Or actually gave it back to Kross. So now I'm going to assume that Finn Balor is leaving. Which is where we're at right now. Here we are. Our main event match of the night. Karrion Kross defending his NXT Championship against Finn Balor. This is Kross versus Balor 2. Too early for Kross to go to the main roster? Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I just had assumed that Kross has that presentation. He may not necessarily be ready to be on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, but he has that look. He has that appeal to him, which is why I thought that they were going to go that route and they would just kind of figure it out along those lines when they got there, but I was wrong. Leroy says, I've been saying that Johnny Gargano's time in NXT has been over for months. Time to give him a call up. Yeah. Yep, I agree. I agree, man. Anyways, to our main event match of the night, Karrion Kross versus Balor 2. It was great. It was really good. I was very surprised at how good this match was. A good beat 'em up. Good beat 'em up match. They beat the hell out of each other. Lots of very good spots. I liked the spot where Finn Balor was on the back of Karrion Kross, just showering down elbows to the back of his head, his neck area. That was great. The submissions were great. The chokehold at the end, the triangle choke on Karrion Kross, all of that stuff was really good. Anthony says Finn has one more thing to do. Drum roll. Face Walter. Yeah, I would love to see that before he goes. If they can pull that off, I would absolutely love to see that. I don't think Finn Balor is the one to knock off Walter and take the NXT UK Championship. I don't think that he's that person, but I think that match would be a great one to have. And if you could do that, have that match, give Finn Balor 3 months to rest after having his chest destroyed and beat up. I think that'd be nice, and just have Finn Balor show up on SmackDown. But don't change Finn Balor. Do not change Finn Balor whatsoever. This is the Finn Balor that I want to see on the main roster. Please, do not change him. Let this man continue to do what he's doing, because what he is doing now is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Trevin says Pete Dunne would be cool on the main roster, but I love him in NXT. Feel like they book him like Shayna. Man, if you would have told me that someone like Shayna Baszler, an extremely dominant NXT Women's Champion, would go to the main roster and be treated the way that she is, I would tell you that you were crazy. I cannot believe how far Shayna Baszler has fallen. And I wonder how she feels about that. How do you feel when you're on top of NXT? You're a dominant women's champion. You've held it for hundreds of days, if I remember correctly. Then you debut on Raw, I believe, feuding with the man, Becky Lynch, biting her neck open, her shoulder area open, whatever it was, drawing blood everywhere, eliminating every single person from the women's Elimination Chamber match, to caring about Reginald, who got a flame shot in his face by an evil Alexa Bliss and her Uncrustable by her side. How do you feel about that? I personally, I don't know about you guys, I wouldn't be very happy unless I was getting a big old check from Vinnie Mac. Big old check. Ashley says nobody is capable of beating Walter on NXT UK. He's beaten everybody. It's crazy, man. Whoever beats Walter, I feel like that person's going to be just shot to superstardom. I really do. Obi James says, I do think Finn will challenge Walter. I was supposed to happen last year, but COVID ruined it. Yeah, so hopefully they're able to do it now. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, man. Sean says, I don't know if you remember, but when Fabian and Marcel attacked Finn and teased Walter versus Finn, and it was supposed to happen, but they just canceled it. Yeah, it was because of the travel ban. It was because of the travel ban. All that stuff happened. Only people I thought would have beaten Walter was Tyler Bate, A-Kid, and Trent Seven. Anthony says Finn needs to be Universal Champion. He is the first ever. I'm not mad at a Finn Balor and Roman Reigns feud right now. That'd be very, very, very good. And, you know, maybe Finn Balor doesn't actually need to be in NXT to go to NXT UK. Maybe Finn Balor comes up, does a program with Roman Reigns, and when the time is right, he leaves and does a program with Walter. I'm not mad at that. I think that'd be great. Ilja Dragunov would have been the one. NXT UK Finn Balor. That's pretty much what I get from him. But yeah, this match was good. Nice beat 'em up match. It was probably like 15, 20 minutes, I think. They gave him a good amount of time. And I loved the ending to the match. The ending to the match was so good. You had Finn Balor. Finn Balor had Karrion Kross in a submission hold. It was pretty much lights out for Kross. The referee was checking his arm. The ref goes up to lift his arm up to drop it down to see if it's limp. Karrion Kross holds on, grabs the ref, and says, no. I'm still here. The lights are still on in the Kross residence. He works his way out of it, or tries to work his way out of it. Finn Balor gets him in a triangle hold, legs around the head. Kross still manages to get up, lifts him up, and slams him down to the ground, sort of like he was kind of in a powerbomb position, but it kind of felt like a choke slam when everything was said and done. So a hybrid of sorts, if you will. And then picked him up, threw him in the corners, hit him elbows to the back of the head and the neck position, dropped Finn Balor in the middle of the ring, picked him up and choked him out. Lights out at the Balor residence. I thought it was a perfect sequence to end the match. It was very good. Very big boy, strong style stuff. It was very good. Very, very good. This was a good match from Karrion Kross. Good match from Karrion Kross. Sean says apparently they are planning on a Johnny Gargano face turn once again. Man, that guy changes a lot. He's always turning, I swear. Always. So yeah, Karrion Kross and still defeats Finn Balor to retain his NXT championship. And now we just have to wonder what is actually next for Finn Balor. Is he going to do that program like we were talking about with Walter? Is he going to go to SmackDown? Which is where he should go if he's going to Raw or SmackDown. It should be SmackDown. Let's be very clear about that. Or is he going to go to Monday Night Raw? Raw needs the most help that it can get because Raw is 3 hours long. It's always going to be extremely hard to book a 3-hour show and make it feel meaningful, make there be a lot of content. It's always going to be extremely difficult. So the more faces, the more bigger names, the more new stuff that they could possibly do for that show, they should do it. It's just, can they survive? Can these people survive that move to Monday Night Raw? I've been saying this for a while, but I think that the main roster needs to do a draft. If not a full-on draft, they need to do some sort of shakeup. They need different faces on Raw. Monday Night Raw needs some main event players. You have AJ Styles losing to Jackson Riker in 1 minute. He's removed. You just have Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in your main event scene, and they just randomly throw in Kofi Kingston because he's a former WWE champion. And sure, maybe they'll get away with it because Kofi Mania, Kofi's a fan favorite. Sure, I get it. But this goes to the whole thing of throwing people into areas where they're not necessarily supposed to be in at this time. You're just popping someone in, popping someone out all of the time. All of the time. They're not building anyone up. Ashton says Damian Priest would be perfect. Damian Priest would be a good choice as well. He can hang with them. Keith Lee. If Keith Lee can return, Keith Lee can hang. It'd be great. We need new faces. Drew McIntyre needs to leave the main event WWE Championship scene. He needs to get the hell away from it. He's had his time. It's come and it's gone. It's over. It's over. It's time to do something else. When you keep people in these positions for this long, people are going to turn on them, and you're going to have one hell of a time trying to right that wrong that you made. Look at Roman Reigns. Look at Roman Reigns, for example. They tried to keep this man's in the main event scene for as long as they possibly could, and they couldn't do it. Everyone knew what was going on. No one liked Roman Reigns. It took them years to figure out how to get him where he is now. If they continue to do this stuff with Drew McIntyre, it's a wrap. Sean says, then on Raw, Finn versus Keith, or Finn versus Priest, or Finn versus John Morrison, or even Finn versus Riddle once again. Yeah. McIntyre will get Roman levels of boos. Yeah. And it sucks because Drew McIntyre is great. He's great. And they had a program that they could have done with him and Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal was ready to go. You have a story wrapped up, packaged, and ready to go, ready to deliver. And they didn't do it. It's very odd. Very odd. Sean says, I would only care about Drew if he turned heel again and became the Scottish psychopath. They're going to need to change at some point. But there's a reason why I stopped watching. Ugh. And I feel bad about it. But my sanity is worth more than anything else. I've tossed and turned about this. About, like, hey, you are the one that wanted to cover wrestling, right? This is the route that you took. This is the job that you created for yourself. So you should quit being a little bitch. You should suck it up. And you should cover these shows. I have this internal battle all of the time. But it's like, you know what? I'm doing my own business for a very specific reason, because I don't answer to anyone. I can do whatever it is that I want. So if I'm not happy watching these shows, don't watch the shows. So I'm always torn. But my break has been nice. I'm going to continue to have a break. I'm not sure when that's going to end yet, but I'm loving what we're doing. Loving the AOW Underground streams. I'm loving the FFBW streams, which we'll have tomorrow, by the way, since there is no AEW Dynamite. And yeah, I guess before we sign off here, before we go, I'll give you a little update on the plans for what is going to go on in the next week or so. So, tomorrow, there will not be an AEW Dynamite post show because there is no AEW Dynamite tomorrow. Dynamite is on Friday this week, and it's not on during SmackDown. It's going to be on after SmackDown. So once you're finished watching SmackDown, you go on, change your channel to TNT, and watch Dynamite. Marcel says, did you hear the Stadium Stampede is main eventing and it will be both live and taped? I did not hear that it was main eventing. That is interesting. But I did hear that there's going to be live aspects to it. So that will be interesting. That will be very interesting. You just want the Hurt Business back? Oh, the Hurt Business was so good, man. Okay, so back to Wednesday. No Dynamite. Dynamite is on Friday after SmackDown. This Wednesday, we will be doing an FFBW. FFBW. It is our Fire Promoter show on YouTube over on my gaming channel, youtube.com/Phantom Spec. Phantom with a 0, not an O. I'll type this out if you want to tune in. Phantom Spec. There you go. You can go ahead and subscribe over there. That will be tomorrow, either 5 or 6. So the time that Dynamite would start, or maybe an hour afterwards, depending. I have a meeting tomorrow, and then I have to go do something else. So it just kind of depends on when I get back. So that will be tomorrow, FFBW stream, probably about 2 hours long. And then I'm leaving for Florida on Thursday. So I will not be here. I will be at AEW Dynamite on Friday. So, of course, the FFBW show being moved to Wednesday. I will not be covering SmackDown, and I'll probably be covering AEW Dynamite while I'm there. And the pictures will probably just be of me taking them, not from the actual show itself. So that should be that there. On Saturday, I will be going down to Orlando, Florida, and my fiance and I will be spending the entire day at Universal Studios. I think we're going to meet up with one of my friends down there. Then that night we will drive back to Jacksonville, and that will be Double or Nothing. And I haven't decided if I'm going to cover Double or Nothing yet. I haven't decided. We are very, very close to the ring this time. So I'm not sure. I might just take the night and enjoy it. Since we're going to be so close. Or maybe I'll post like really cool things that happen. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for Double or Nothing yet. So that is on Sunday. Also, if you are here and you live in Florida, I have a friend that I might see if he wants to go. But we have an extra set of tickets for Double or Nothing. They're in the 200 level. But the guy that I bought them from said that they're the best seats in that level. So there might be a giveaway for those. I have to figure out how to do it. We have the tickets now, and we can transfer them to someone. But I just have to figure out. The thing is that it's very short notice. So you have to live very close by. And I struggle with it, wanting to go to someone who actually does live close by. I don't want to give them to someone and then have them not go. So I'm trying to work that out. But I do have 2 extra tickets, and I'm going to try to find a way to give them away. And it's a giveaway. It's free. I don't need anything from anyone for them. It's just a special treat. Thank you for the follow, but it's going to have to be someone that lives in Florida. So I have to figure that out, but that's something to look forward to as well. If you're close by in the area, if you're kind of in the surrounding areas, I can try to get them to someone as soon as possible. That way someone can make travel arrangements if they want to drive a couple hours. Does Canada get a free pass? Yeah, you get a free pass. Trevin says, I want Bobby to face Orton, Styles, Priest, Keith Lee, and Lesnar. Vince, speaking of Lesnar, Kofi hasn't got his rematch yet, has he? Kofi, go face Lashley. There you go. I wouldn't cover it, to be honest. Enjoy your night and the event, man. I would just post highlights and talk about the experience later in the next day. Yeah, which is something else to consider. I'm going to miss out on doing post shows for Dynamite, and I'm going to miss out on doing post shows for, or the post show for Double or Nothing, which sucks because it's going to be a huge night. But I'm thinking maybe I might go live on Instagram afterwards, depending on how the night goes. We're like I think our hotel is in walking distance. I think it's in walking distance of where we're from. We're staying very close by. So I guess it just kind of depends on what we're doing afterwards. If we're dead from being at Universal Studios, because we do have to wake up. So after Monday or after Sunday, after Double or Nothing, we have to go back to Orlando on Monday because we have tickets to Disney World. So we have to be in Orlando when they open, and it's a 2.5 hour drive, 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think, from Jacksonville to Orlando. So after Double or Nothing, we're going all the way back to Orlando. We're going to be at Disney World, and then we have to drive back in the evening, sometime around like 4 or 5, and then we're flying out at like 7. Flying out at 7, and then we get home at 1 a.m. on Tuesday. So next week's NXT show, we'll see if I'm alive. If I'm alive after that. But yeah, that is the schedule for all of that. Obviously, since I will be in Florida, there will not be an AOW Underground stream on Monday. Unfortunately, we'll have to figure out another time to do that. Maybe we'll do it on Thursday or something when I get back, depending on how things go. But yeah, that is it. Lever says, good night, all you fickle fucks. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Almost 2 hours. It was a great show. I hope you guys had a good time. It was nice chatting with you, especially because it's very limited now since we're not doing Raw and SmackDown. But hopefully, guys, if you like the show, you tune in to the FFBW stuff because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, hang out, lots of interesting stuff, especially in Fire Pro because anything can happen in that game. It's very wild. It's very wild. So, anyways, I'm gonna go. I gotta go get some dinner. I gotta go do some work. I got a logo to finish tonight. That needs to be done tonight. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jeremy or Basketball, thank you so much, man. Let me go up. I can't remember what he changed his name to. Jackson, my man. Thank you for the 2 $4.99 super chats, man. I greatly appreciate you. You, Jackson, my friend, you are going to the moon. OBJ says, have a good time at Double or Nothing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We will. Have a good rest of your night, guys. I will see you all tomorrow on the Phantom Spec channel. We will be playing Fire Promoter once again. See you all then. Peace.